Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're going to be working on the Celeste cardigan. I'm so excited about this cardigan. It's more of an oversized kind of cardigan, perfect for fall, and it is so easy to make. So let's get started. All right, so if you're going to be doing pockets, we're gonna start with pockets. If not, you can go on to the next step. If you're making pockets, what you want to do first is you want to grab your pockets wrong side up and add a 1/2 inch interfacing to the top, and then we're going to steam that down that 1/2 inch and top stitch it there. But I'm also going to, on the short side, we're going to fold it in 1/2 inch and steam it. So we're going to go top stitch there. This is folded in, so it's prepped for sewing it on. And we're gonna grab our pockets, and what we're going to do is that straight longer edge is gonna be against the edge of your, the outside edge, well, I'm sorry, the inside edge of your cardigan. So that's gonna be attached there. So when you sew your band, that will get attached here. And so what you can do is baste them, but make sure that all the bottom is lined up and this side is lined up. I'm just gonna pin it or clip it, and then it lays flat. And then on this other side where we already folded it under and gave it that steam, you're gonna fold it under because we're gonna top stitch it onto your cardigan. We're gonna go back and top stitch here on the outer edge of this pocket, and then on the inside edge you can baste it there. All right, we're gonna sew here and baste here, and you can baste the bottom as well. Baste the side and the bottom. All right, always make sure that you trim your threads. Every time I get done with a project and then I have a ton of threads, I get so upset at myself because I'm like, why didn't I just trim along? You can leave obviously the rest of the thread down here that you're gonna pull your basting stitch at the end, but I'd like to try to trim everything up. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and grab our front bodice. Well, actually, let's lay our back bodice down on our mat, right side up. And then we're gonna grab our front bodice, the corresponding front bodice. So like this is the right side, so it's gonna go right sides together. And we're going to place it right on top. And we're gonna match up those shoulders first. Right sides together. And match up our side seam. So the whole side seam here. Right sides together. And then you're doing the same on the other side with the other front bodice. You know what I just realized? I cut the front bodice for the short cuff, and then I cut the back bodice for the long cuff. So I'm just gonna match that up. So that's why it looks that way, because I cut one longer than the other. Anyway, pay attention to that. I wanted the tall cuff, so that works out fine. But if you wanted the short cuff and you cut the long cuff, then that's not good because it's shorter. All right, so we're gonna go sew that with our preferred straight stretch stitch. So you can do that on your serger or on your sewing machine with a stretch stitch. I'm gonna use my sewing machine just because I don't want a lot of bulk on this sweater, and this fabric sometimes can tend to like get a little wavy. So I'm gonna use my sewing machine. I'm gonna do a longer zigzag stitch, and that's how I'm gonna do my stretch stitch. Okay, so that's looking really good. And I actually checked one of my other cardigans that are store-bought, and they're made with the thicker, more like this kind of fabric. I'm drawing a blank on what kind of fabric it's called. And they're also kind of sewn with a zigzag stitch or something like that, so that to avoid the bulk. So that was really good. So anyway, it's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and put my cardigan aside, and we're gonna work on our band. Now, I had just enough fabric to cut my band on the fold. I also didn't have extra fabric for the seam allowance, so I just went ahead and cut it on the fold, allotting for that seam allowance. So if you cut 2 bands, you're gonna fold them right sides together and sew them together first. And then on the raw edge, the front edges, we're gonna fold them right sides together, and we're going to close them off here. So I'm gonna sew them shut here. So then I'm gonna turn it around, and that will be a flat seam here. And do the same on the other side once you make one long band. And I'm also going to go ahead and prep my cuffs by folding them right sides together on the long edge. Now, if you are worried about, if you're doing the tall cuffs and you're worried about how they're gonna fit, you might wanna go ahead and sew the cuff first, try it on. And if your fabric, it doesn't have a ton of stretch, you may wanna add a little bit more fabric for your next one. So go ahead and just cut one and then try it on. Sew it, cut one, sew it, try it on, and see how it fits. Because some sweater knits have more stretch than others. So you wanna make sure that you have good stretch for your cuff and it's not, get on your nerves and then, you already sewed it onto your cardigan and now it's like, oh, I wish it was a little bit wider. So I would sew it up first, try it on, make sure it fits comfortably, and then sew it onto your cardigan. But if your fabric doesn't have as much stretch, then I would add maybe a half an inch or whatever, however it feels like would feel nice on your wrist. All right, so when we flip this over, that's gonna be the edge of your band here on both sides. My cuff fits nicely. There, so that's good. We're gonna fold it wrong sides together. Okay, so what we're gonna do here at the bottom of the cardigan is to measure 5/8 from the bottom and mark it, because that's where we're gonna stop at, and that's gonna become our hem allowance. So we're gonna stop our band there and then fold this to hem. So that's our hem allowance. So we're gonna start with our band, the center of our band where we have that seam where we sewed it together, which I don't have a seam, so I'm gonna find my center, okay? And that center is gonna go to the center back of your bodice. So match that center back. And we're matching the right side of the band with the right side of the bodice. And then here, the front, the edge here is gonna go right here where you mark that 5/8, right there. Now, before I sew, I'm gonna go over there, and before I sew this on, I'm gonna just baste this band down here, just baste it so that it doesn't move on me as I'm stretching and sewing this whole band all the way around. Just because you wanna make sure that it's not going to move on you and get all wonky. For now, I just make sure I pin it really nicely. Okay, and then we're going to match our band. All right, and then I'm also going to go ahead and attach my cuffs by marking equal parts. So I'm just halving my sleeve. Here's my 2 seams here and then the center of the sleeve, and I'm gonna do the same for the cuff. So go out from the edge to what the half is. I mean, I guess you could quarter it. I guess you don't have to quarter it. So let's see. I want that seam to be on the inside. I'm gonna put that seam towards the inside and match it up. And then we're gonna stretch as we sew it on. I don't know if y'all can hear Bo, but he is just snoozing away. He just is having a good little nap. All right, let's go sew all that up, and then all we'll have to do after that is hem, and we'll be done. Told you, this easy sew. right, friends, we are basically done. All we need to do now is you can go ahead and steam that band towards the inside and top stitch. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to top stitch or not, just because, like I said, this fabric can be a little bit moody and I don't want to overstretch it. But I think I might, because I want that seam to go towards the inside. So I may just give it a really good steam and then top stitch it with a like a little bit longer stitch, maybe a 3 instead of a 2.5, or maybe a 3.5, just so it's not such a tight stitch. That might be fine. So, and I'm gonna use the same for hemming for me. We're gonna fold up that here, that hem. So we top stitch first, and then we'll fold up the hem, and we're gonna hem all the way around the bottom. See, mine is really thick down here with the pocket and everything else. So that's why I decided to do the stretch stitch on my sewing machine instead of trying to do my serger, because that would have been even extra bulk on me. Well, I ran out of bobbin thread pretty early on, so the rest of the time I was just sewing on air. All right, friends, we are done. Wasn't that so quick and easy? And it turned out adorable. I love how this looks. I'm definitely going to be wearing this like every day. It's going to be one of those on my rotations, you know, how you get that one cardigan that you just love and you wear it with everything. Yeah. This is it. I love it. I love the oversized kind of here of the sleeve, but it's not huge. It's just like perfect. It's cozy because it's not super big. I mean, it fits just perfect. I love it. This is the longer length, and this were the tall cuffs, which I also love. And I think I am so excited about figuring out a good way to sew up this thicker fabric, because I love it so much, and I'm always on the lookout for like thick cozy fabrics. But in the past, I've sewn up cardigans or stuff with it on the serger, and I've been kind of disappointed about the waviness and everything. But the stretch stitch on my sewing machine was what did the trick, because it looks so good. I love how it looks. It literally looks like I just got it from the store. I love it, and I can tell people I made it. So anyway, I'm excited about it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Go grab your pattern, come back, sew it up with me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.